faster and easier with the new, more powerful S Pen only on the Galaxy Note 4. The next big thing is here.
Happy New Year, everyone. Welcome back to Denver, where the Broncos are leading the Raiders by a score of 20-7 as we get set for the start of the third quarter. And the Bows game changer, pretty simple. Peyton Manning had fun just handing off to C.J. Anderson, who's had 2 rushing touchdowns on the day so far to boost the Broncos to the 20-7 lead. Greg Gumbel along with Trent Green. Does this make the second half planning easier to figure out in your mind?
Well, I think for Denver, you just have to continue doing the things that you're doing. So from an Oakland standpoint defensively, you have to find ways to stop C.J. Anderson. I know Peyton Manning is putting up some big numbers, but you can see right here for the Raiders, find the rhythm. Offensively, they've only converted 1/3 down. They have to find ways to get yards, move the ball down the field. And then for the Denver Broncos, don't let up. We just talked about C.J. Anderson, his effectiveness, and by the numbers there, you can see Peyton Manning putting up a pretty spectacular day as well.
And as we mentioned, it'll be the Denver Broncos getting their hands on the ball first here in the second half. Number 31 is Omar Bolden. And Bolden will get a chance to run this one out of the end zone from about 5 yards deep. 20, 30, up the sideline. Bolden bumped out of bounds at about the 31-yard line. Sebastian Janikowski, the kicker, actually helped to run him out of bounds.
Well, and we just got through saying that the Raiders need to do some things differently here in the second half to find a rhythm and get things going, and the Broncos come out and start off with field position. Peyton Manning's going to have field position like he had the entire first half, in position to put points on the board right away.
So Manning starts at the Oakland 30-yard line with C.J. Anderson in the backfield. And Anderson, the author of 2 touchdowns already, is brought down at about the 25-yard line. Let's go down to Evan.
Well, Greg, Denver head coach John Fox's message was it was good, but it can be better. He really likes the way the offense is playing, obviously. Now, he did say that they need to work on some of the twists that Oakland is doing on that D-line. Justin Tuck getting a lot of pressure. I asked him if there's a number or a lead that would dictate how he utilizes his bench, and he said, we're not thinking about that at all. We're trying to close out the regular season. Guys?
Evan, thank you. 2nd and 5. And Anderson again, and Anderson breaking free for the touchdown. A 3-touchdown afternoon for C.J. Anderson.
Showing tremendous vision and explosion when he gets through there. A number of missed tackles by the Raiders, and that continues to be a problem. They've done a nice job. C.J. Anderson's going to come in here, and you're going to see his vision, and he cuts back. But watch the number of missed tackles. There's several Raiders in position to make the play. Woodson being one of them, came in a little bit too fast, overran the play, and C.J. Anderson with the cutback and gets up on the board. I know what Evan's trying to say with John Fox and when are you going to put in your backups, but my guess is if it keeps going this way by the start of the fourth quarter, that'll be some serious conversation for the coaches.
Connor Barth, the extra point. It is good. 27-7. Denver's lead, and set up by Omar Bolden's kickoff return.
Here's a nice ground level. Armstrong, Ray Armstrong comes off on it. Looks like he's in position to make the tackle, and Charles Woodson just coming in there too fast, thinking he has the angle, but the vision and the patience that C.J. Anderson shows, and then of course after those missed tackles, having the explosion to get in there.
You know, going back to that Monday night loss against the Cincinnati Bengals, everybody wanted to know what's wrong with Peyton Manning, what's wrong with the Denver Broncos, and John Fox, as a good head coach will, he broke it down very easily for us. You don't win against good teams when you're -2 in the turnover department, missed tackles on defense that night, big runs made it a tough day, and coverage was a problem for them.
Well, it's almost everything you just rattled off there is what's going on right now for the Raiders. You know, big plays in the special teams, big plays by the defense, and running the football effectively. It's kind of been a flipped script for the Broncos compared to what they went through in Cincinnati a week ago.
So now Brandon McManus will kick it away to George Atkinson III. not come out. So again, the Raiders will begin at their own 20-yard line. And when special teams makes a big play like that, it makes everything easier.
Well, and it just, you know, it sends a message coming out of halftime. You know, everybody goes in and, you know, you try and get regrouped as a coaching staff. You try and get regrouped as far as your play calling direction you want to go, the message as coaches you want to send to your players in the second half. And then all of a sudden it comes out and the very first play is a 70-yard return to set up the score.
So Latavius Murray in the backfield.
What's up?
Quick pass for Carr, far side of the field. And that's Andre Holmes for about 4.
They're going to bring it back. They blew the whistle. At least one of the officials was blowing the whistle before the ball was snapped.
Prior to the snap, false start, offense, number 61, 5-yard penalty, still first down.
That's the center, Stefan Wisniewski, and again, the playoff picture looks like this. Denver with a win clinches the number 2 seed in home field and a bye in the first round. Meanwhile, if they lose, Cincinnati can gain that number 2 slot with a win against Pittsburgh tonight. Carr. Marcel Reese out of the backfield, and Reese out of bounds just short of the 30-yard line.
Well, this has been a resilient Raiders team all season long. You think about the struggles they faced starting off the season the way they did, losing their head coach and coming back, and there really has been no quit in this team. So I don't anticipate, even though the score is very lopsided right now, they haven't had a lot of success on either side of the football. This team has proven that it's not going to give up. It's going to keep fighting.
And as Evan talked about, you know, Tony Sperano, does he want the job? Sure he does. He says he has good communication with Mark Davis, the owner, and talks will begin tomorrow, I'm sure, amongst the candidates that ownership has in mind for the Oakland Raiders. So first down for Oakland. There's Jack Del Rio, who is always rumored to be a possibility, the former Jacksonville head coach, and there's Mark Davis having a conversation with Jack Del Rio, who hails from the Northern California area. First down. Carr got rid of it, incomplete. Nice play by number 97, Malik Jackson.
Well, and Williams does a good job of getting up the field and putting pressure on Derek Carr and forcing him to throw that ball more quickly than he wanted to.
We are told from the Denver sideline that left guard Orlando Franklin being looked at for possible concussion. We'll keep you updated. 2nd and 10.
What's up?
Murray. And Murray bulls his way to about the 38.5-yard line.
Well, I think it's pretty safe to assume, after Evan had a chance to talk with Tony Sperano going off the field before the half, the Raiders aren't going to completely abandon the run and just say, you know what, we're going to throw it 50, 60 times and try and make this comeback. They want to stick with running the football. They want to have that balance. And even though they've had some problems with it, the Denver's done a good job with it, I don't see them leaving that, at least not at this point in time of the game.
3rd and 3. Carr with time, and he's got his man coming across the field. That's Murray. Murray across the 40, inside the 30, down the sideline, and finally bumped out of bounds. David Bruton finally caught up with him, but not before he was bumped out at the 15-yard line. It's 46-yard pickup.
And watch Murray, he's coming out of the backfield. He's going to rub right underneath Rivera, which gives him creates that space, creates that lane. It's just very similar to a lot of teams you see running that double cross with your inside slot receivers, except this time you do it with a running back and a tight end, and it creates that separation for the completion.
Nice block up ahead by Kenbrell Tompkins for Latavius Murray. McFadden in the lineup now. First down from the 15. McFadden with the ball. to about the 12. So the offense getting a little bit of life thanks to that young man. But it has been a battle for the Oakland offense.
Well, and one of the bright spots for the Raiders has actually been their production down inside the red zone. They haven't been down here very often, but when they do, they generally get touchdowns.
Carr inside the 10. That's complete. James Jones out of bounds. And they will mark him out, let's see, just inside the 5-yard line, and it'll be 1st and goal.
Good angle of Jones bringing in the catch. He's picking up a block on the outside on Talib, and he's able to get that 1st down before getting out of bounds. With 1st and goal inside the 5, look for him to run the football here, and then maybe on 2nd down if they want to get to a play-action pass. But the fact they want to stick with the run, I would anticipate a run here.
Latavius Murray in the backfield with Marcel Reese ahead of him. This is Murray. Murray met at the line of scrimmage and driven back. Steven Johnson, the middle linebacker, leading the charge.
Murray coming in, nowhere for him to go. This is just a counter working back. You see 3 Broncos and no hole. So Murray leaves the field. McFadden comes in. They take out the extra offensive lineman. Don't be surprised they try and get Carr out in some space, not necessarily just sticking in the pocket, but try and get out in space and use his legs to create pressure on the defense.
Carr spreads the field. Quick pass inside, right at the goal line is Andre Holmes. And he will be marked at about the half-foot line.
Well, and here come the horses now, bringing in the extra offensive lineman, extra tight end inside the 1-yard line. Nice accurate throw though by Derek Carr, getting that ball in there, squeezing it between 2 defenders and setting up this 3rd and goal.
Not many rushing touchdowns for this Raider offense this season. 3rd and goal. Carr looking, throws, all alone in the end zone for the touchdown is Jamize Olawale. It is his 2nd receiving touchdown of the season.
What they're trying to do is a play action and flood everybody out. Here's Olawale. He's just going to come back here and he's going to sit in the middle. Everybody else is going out to the flat, and what Carr's going to do, he's going to look out first, but then he comes back to Olawale in the back of the end zone. You can see his eyes and his body language wants to go out to the left, and that's what draws the defense over there. Olawale just finds an open window in the back of the end zone.
Janikowski's kick is good, and with 8:55 to play in the 3rd, the Raiders with their 2nd touchdown of the day cut Denver's lead to 27-14.
You've probably noticed we have a thing for hearts. That's because at Southwest, people are at the heart of everything we do. So when our employees volunteer over 140,000 hours a year for charity, it's no coincidence that it comes from the heart. Sure, we're an airline, but we do some of our best work on the ground.
Out of 42 vehicles, based on 6 different criteria, why did a panel of 11 automotive experts name the Volkswagen Golf Motor Trend's 2015 Car of the Year? We'll give you 4 good reasons. The all-new Volkswagen Golf, starting at $17,995. There's an award-winning Golf for everyone.
Can we get a little help? We've got Pepsi.
What if we just take like 15 minutes?
Halfway through the game?
They got Pepsi.
Boom, boom, boom. Even brighter than the
So what do we call that?
Halftime.
I like it.
Even the first halftime wasn't halftime without Pepsi. See Katy Perry live in the Pepsi Super Bowl 49 halftime show.
Molly's got a secret, but can Mike figure it out?
Blink once for yes, twice for no.
Did you blink when I blinked?
I don't know, did I?
A new Mike and Molly Monday.
This telecast is copyrighted by the NFL for the private use of our audience. Any other use of this telecast or of any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the NFL's consent is prohibited.
On Oakland's first 7 possessions, they managed just 45 yards total on that drive. 80, 85 counting the 5-yard penalty. And they get on the board with a touchdown and a 27-14 Denver lead now. And this one will sail out of the end zone for the touchback. And Peyton Manning in the offense from their own 20-yard line when we come back to Denver, Colorado, here on CBS.
Before she bought something for her husband, something for Buster, and a little something for herself, Nancy grabbed her iPhone 6 so she could pay with her Bank of America card using Apple Pay, the new, easy, secure, smart way to pay with a simple touch. That's the convenience of innovative connections. That's Bank of America.
The good more is all the end-of-season deals on great tech stuff at Verizon. The not-so-good more? Having the season actually end. Now get the amazing Moto X in football leather, free.
Quitters! You're all quitters.
And get a $150 credit when you switch to Verizon.
I want to pump you up.
No. We want to pump you up like that. It. You put the emphasis on the wrong syllable.
I want to pump you up.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. That was terrible.
This is not a joke. Let's try it again.
I want to pump you up.
It's like we're talking to a wall.
Yeah. I don't know what kind of sick game you play.
Knock. Hello.
I want to pump you up.
I can't do this anymore.
Training is hard. Saving is easy. Get a discount double check today.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. State Farm. Pump up your savings with a discount double check today. And by Bank of America.
Ice skating downtown in Denver. We found out last night you can do that just as easily on the sidewalk.
I knew you were going with that. Hey, consider about 3 of the 5 of us about fell, didn't we?
Manning on first down the sideline. Incomplete, and the flag is thrown. DJ Hayden covering Emmanuel Sanders.
Well, they're going to get DJ Hayden with that right arm all over Emmanuel Sanders.
Pass interference, defense, number 25. The ball he placed at the spot of the foul. First down, Denver.
You'll see him working up the sideline here, and this is what the officials in great position to call it. You can see the right arm of Hayden wrapped around the left arm of Sanders. No way he's going to get away with that with the official right next to it.
So first down now at the Oakland 44 for Manning and the Broncos. Hillman to the 31. Time to take you back to New York. NFL Today Studios, JB and Boomer.
Detroit knows what's at stake.
Well, their first series of the second half, they go right down the field. Calvin Johnson, his second touchdown reception of the day. Tie up the score 14-14. Aaron Rodgers did not start the second half for Green Bay, but he is in the game now as they get ready to start their second series of the second half.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. The winner is champions of the NFC North. Get a first-round bye. The loser is the number 6 seed in the NFC playoff picture. That pass snapped off the top of the grass by Demaryius Thomas. Tonight, what is it about Pope Francis that has captured the world's attention? Some of his closest friends will tell you. Only on 60 Minutes presents tonight, only CBS. I think the Pope is watching how the playoff picture develops.
Possibly.
2nd and 5. Hillman in the backfield. Hillman with the handoff. Spinning inside the 25 to about the 23-yard line, and Woodson down again as we check in with Evan.
Well, Greg, just an update on left guard Orlando Franklin. He's been ruled out for the remainder of this game with a concussion, so Ben Garland will pick up his duties on the O-line.
All right, Evan, thank you. And meanwhile, Charles Woodson down on the turf and forcing a stoppage in play for the 2nd time this afternoon.
What are you guys having?
I'll have a Red's Apple Ale. Make it 2.
Red's Apple Ale. Crisp like an apple, brewed like an ale.
It's the Silverado year-end event. Time to get your Chevy Silverado before it's too late. And with the best offer of the year on the most awarded pickup of 2014, there's no better time than now. Hurry in. It all ends January 2nd. Now during the year-end event, trade up to get a total value of $9,500 on this 2014 Silverado Crew Cab All-Star. It's the year-end event at your Chevy dealer.
Introducing the new Philips Norelco Shaver Series 9000 with Contour Detect technology that flexes in 8 directions for the perfect shave at any angle. Go to philips.com/new to save up to $40. Innovation and you. Philips Norelco.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Beautiful.
I feel like it makes me look pregnant. Honey,
Spectacular.
you didn't even look.
Of course I did.
What are you watching? Oh, I love this scene. How late are we?
It ended 2 hours ago.
With the best screen of any tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S is the world's most entertaining device. Get $50 off the 10.5 and 8.4-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab S at your local Best Buy today.
Only CBS can light up your new year with the #1 drama, the #1 comedy, the #1 news program, and the #1 news show. Happy New Year from America's most watched network, only CBS.
Charles Woodson recovering on the sideline. I wouldn't imagine he'll be out too much longer. Looks anxious to get back in already. 3rd and 2. And Manning sends Anderson into the slot. And that's complete inside the 20-yard line to Emmanuel Sanders for a 1st down. Been a war of attrition out there today, Trent.
Well, first for Demaryius Thomas. He's right here. He's going to catch the ball, and he comes up a little gingerly. It's his shoulder he ends up landing on and leaves the field. He'll be back out on the field. And then the second one is Woodson here. He's coming up to make the tackle, and it's the flow goes a little bit low on him, knocks him out. He's already back out on the field as well, but a couple of key players for both teams dealing with some minor dings.
1st down at the 18. Play fake to Hillman. Manning throwing, and that's complete. Incomplete. Dropped the foul, and yes, incomplete inside the 15-yard line. Intended for Sanders, and Chance Casey was there with the play.
You see Casey coming off right here. He's the one that's going to drive up, knock that ball loose. That's something you see a lot of combination routes that Peyton Manning has used over the years, whether it's in Indianapolis or here in Denver, where the slot receiver goes vertical, either goes corner or post, and then your outside man drags underneath.
Demaryius Thomas is back onto the field. 2nd and 10. Hillman. To about the 16.5, maybe the 17-yard line. Clock continues to move as we come up on 6 minutes to play here in the 3rd. Broncos working hard for the day off next week.
Well, and you can see just the number of players we've had dinged up a little bit here. Adam Gase trying to figure out what to do here on 3rd and long inside the 20.
Manning on 3rd and 9, throwing, end zone, off the fingertips of Demaryius Thomas.
Trying to hit that back shoulder throw. Once again, going after McGill. That's something that Demaryius normally comes up with.
That's pretty much how it's drawn up, isn't it?
Yeah, a lot of these back shoulder throws, you know, going back the last several years, that's become a big thing. And Demaryius and Peyton have been on the same page numerous times. That's, as I said, that's normally a play he comes up with.
So Connor Barth from 35 yards out to put 3 more on the board for the Broncos. And he does. 5:38 to play in the third. And Denver with 3 more on the board. The Broncos lead at 30-14.
Your empire is how the world will remember you. It's where your dreams come to life. But you must not delay. Plan quickly, build quickly, or be destroyed quickly. Will you build an empire that lasts forever? Will you be my hero?
Game of War. Play for free now from the App Store.
It's Straight Talk Wireless, which means you get unlimited talk, text, and data for only $45 a month. No contracts, no surprises.
What about hidden fees?
Nope.
What about funny business?
No.
Bamboozling?
What is bamboozling?
It's like malarkey.
No.
Good.
Same phone, same networks, half the cost. You can get a Moto E, or you can bring your own phone. Unlimited talk, text, and data, the first 3 gigabytes at high speed is just $45 a month. Straight Talk Wireless, only at Walmart.
It's the end of the year. Time to reflect on your accomplishments. At Chevrolet, we've had quite a few. In fact, this year we've won more awards than any other car company. And it's not too late to reward yourself at the Chevy year-end event. Hurry, it all ends January 2nd. Choose an Impala in stock the longest and get cash back for 20% of the MSRP. That's over $6,500 on this Impala LT. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
Don't miss TV's #1 drama, NCIS, CBS Tuesday.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Game of War. Play free now. And by Straight Talk Wireless. The world needs more Straight Talk.
Well, guys, we just saw an uncharacteristic drop from Demaryius Thomas in the end zone here. And as I've been watching him throughout the game, he does have tape that has taped together the 2 middle fingers on his right hand. Now, he's obviously got his helmet on. He's available to play, but just something to keep your eye on throughout the rest of this game.
All right, Evan, thank you much. On the kickoff, Atkinson going to run this one out of the end zone. Atkinson across the 20 to about the 21-yard line. About 5.5 to play in the third.
I've always loved exploring and looking for something better. That's the way I look at life, especially now that I live with a higher risk of stroke due to AFib, a type of irregular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. I was taking warfarin, but I wondered if I kept digging, could I come up with something better? My doctor told me about Eliquis for 3 important reasons. 1, in a clinical trial, Eliquis was proven to reduce the risk of stroke better than warfarin. 2, Eliquis had less major bleeding than warfarin. And 3, unlike warfarin, there's no routine blood testing.
Don't stop taking Eliquis unless your doctor tells you to, as stopping increases your risk of having a stroke. Eliquis can cause serious and, in rare cases, fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve or abnormal bleeding. While taking Eliquis, you may bruise more easily, and it may take longer than usual for any bleeding to stop. Seek immediate medical care for sudden signs of bleeding, like unusual bruising. Eliquis may increase your bleeding risk if you take certain medicines. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures.
Those 3 important reasons are why Eliquis is a better find for me.
Ask your doctor today if Eliquis is right for you.
Your vision benefits are about to expire, so let us help you. VisionWorks accepts hundreds of plans, including Davis Vision, and you'll get 50% off a second pair of glasses when you use your insurance. It's all about helping you be a better you. VisionWorks.
CBS Monday.
Wheels up in 30.
The missions are classified.
Where to go?
The team is qualified.
The best of the best.
The suspects identified.
I need to know where this man is.
And the viewers.
My kind of town.
Satisfied.
Just doing what we do.
Catch NCIS Los Angeles, CBS Monday.
Officially, they say it's 33 degrees. I disagree. I disagree that it feels like 27. I think it feels a little less than that. 5.5 minutes to play.
That's that South Florida blood you've got going in your veins.
From the 21-yard line. Carr to throw. Going deep. Sideline. Incomplete. Intended for Andre Holmes, covered by Chris Harris.
And you can understand why the Raiders sideline is looking for a call, because Harris didn't turn around on that. It's a little double move up the sideline. Harris makes a good adjustment, but used that left arm and is able to pull Holmes down. Raiders sideline was all over it, but the officials were not, so there was no flag thrown.
So it's a 2nd and 10. And here comes the Denver crowd. Carr on the quick slant. That's complete to about the 28-yard line to James Jones. And we check in once again with the guys in New York, JB and Boomer.
Will it be shades of Willis Reed? Certainly could be, JB. Aaron Rodgers back on the field for the Green Bay Packers for their second drive of the second half. A touchdown pass to Randall Cobb. They take the lead 21-14. Now, Trent Green would appreciate this because Aaron Rodgers is dragging that left leg all over the place. Greg Gumbel, not so much. Why? Because he gets all nervous with a head cold.
I think Boomer knows I'm allergic to pain.
That's right. That's right.
3rd and 2. Carr throwing. That's complete. And that is a first down. Kenbrell Tompkins making the grab. The NFC playoff picture. You know, if Green Bay wins and Seattle loses, the Packers will clinch home field throughout the playoffs. And right now, St. Louis and Seattle are tied at 6 in the latter stages of the third quarter.
Well, and it's important to point out, Aaron Rodgers is back out on the field, and what do? They drive right down the field. So if there's any discussion or argument about who the MVP is, I think just the mere fact of Rodgers coming back on the field with that calf injury and leading him to a touchdown helps solidify his argument for MVP status.
Murray across the 35, and you know, the way we saw him limping earlier in that game, I wouldn't have thought he'd be back out there.
I didn't either. It was that touchdown pass in the first half that he came up limping on, or actually he went down. He was throwing it as he was going down, left the field, and has now came back in the second half. So toughness by Aaron Rodgers, and he shows it by leading him to a score. But Derek Carr, we have to get back to the point that the Raiders, the last series they had, they were continuing to try and run the football. And Tony Sperano mentioned they want to try and continue to run the football. Now they've gone out this series and they're spreading it out and starting to push the ball, or attempt to push the ball up the field.
On 2nd and 5, we'll give it to Murray, and Murray, looking for running room, squeezes across the 40 to about the 43-yard line. Let's go back to that last drive by the Raiders, Trent.
Well, the big play in the last drive was the crossing route to Latavius Murray. Just does a crossing route with the tight end and is able to get open, and then the completion down inside the one before Olawale catches the ball on the bootleg out to Derek Carr's left. And that's kind of what got this offense going a little bit. There's Olsen, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders. Started out very slow. 5 of the first 6 possessions were 3 and outs, and now they've begun to get some stuff going here in the second half.
McFadden in the backfield. Play fake to him. Pass out into the flat to Marcel Reese, and Reese out of bounds at the 45 of the Denver Broncos and a first down.
Well, and Reese is such a versatile back. I know he made the Pro Bowl as a fullback, and generally you traditionally think your fullback is your guy lead blocking and opening things up, and he does do a lot of that, but he is such an effective receiver coming out of the backfield. And then they've also like to spread him out. They'll put him in the slot. They'll isolate him one-on-one on the outside because he has that capability.
Talking about how they've opened it up here in the second half, Oakland managed just 1 first down in the first half. They've had 7 here in the third quarter. 2:20 to play in the third.
What's up?
Flea flicker. Carr going deep. Has a man open. And overthrew him. Andre Holmes was wide open.
And Holmes has contact with Bruton down the field. You'll see Bruton right here, and Holmes is going to be coming from the right. It's just a flea flicker with McFadden. Watch the reaction of Bruton. He starts coming forward thinking they're going to hit the crossing route. He puts his arm out, just causes Holmes to slow down a little bit. You wonder if that is what affected that completion. Also, the thin air up here makes the ball travel farther.
2nd and 10. Incomplete, intended for McFadden. On the touchdown pass to Olawale, you told me a quarterback sometimes will see a guy wide open and then refuses to believe that he's that open.
You keep thinking you're missing somebody. You're looking around trying to find somebody, and I know going back to my last statement, you have thin air up here and the ball's going to travel differently. But the Raiders, it's not like they come up here a day or two early and they get adjusted to that. As a quarterback, how you make that adjustment is during pregame warmups and as the game progresses. I know playing up here a number of times, I took extra amount of throws in pregame warmup just to get adjusted to how far the ball will travel.
3rd and 10. Carr with plenty of time. This is McFadden, and McFadden will be about 5 yards shy of a first down.
This is definitely in Janikowski's field goal range. You just have to 16 point. It's a 2-possession game.
And he is going to send the punting unit onto the field.
Janikowski, you can see he was almost out to the numbers. He's a little frustrated by that decision. I would say you either got to kick the field goal or go for it on 4th down. I don't know about punting the ball and giving the ball back to Peyton Manning, which will take it into the 4th quarter with only a minute and a half to go in the 3rd. Unless they've got a fake dialed up here.
Well, King going to try to pin them deep. Fair catch called for and made at the 10-yard line by Wes Welker. So Tony Sperano elected to kick it away rather than try a Janikowski field goal of about 57, 58 yards, which he can do, especially at this height, or number 2, go for it on 4th down.
Well, I think you got to pick one of those two, kick a field goal or go for it on 4th down. All you're doing is giving the ball back to Peyton Manning. So far, they've had three drives where they got a touchdown, 3 drives where they got a field goal. So 6 times today, they've been able to move the ball down the field. And, you know, considering they have the ball inside their own 11-yard line with a little over a minute to go in the 3rd, if they put together a long drive here and use up 5-6 minutes of time, you've really left yourself no time. With it being, as you said, Greg, it's still a 2-possession game.
Ronnie Hillman. And Hillman breaks it outside and is out of bounds at about the 15-yard line. Let's check back in with the guys in New York. James Brown, Boomer Esiason, take it away.
Carolina capitalizing. Guys, things not going so well for Matt Ryan. It's going to be another interception. This one is Trey Boston. He's going to take it back 84 yards. An interception return for a touchdown. 21 points off of Falcons turnovers. Some of us here at CBS Sports headquarters, Tony Gonzalez, are projecting a win for the Carolina Panthers in the 4th seed in the NFC.
Back to Greg Gumbel.
Oh, Tony, how much does he weigh? Because that limb that he's out on is going to break pretty soon.
Well, that's a big commitment by Tony, being a former Falcon, right?
The winner is the champion of the NFC South. The loser goes home. And the winner would host either Arizona or Seattle next weekend as we see the final seconds ticking off here in the 3rd quarter. The Denver Broncos with the ball and the lead. And an eye on that number 2 seed in the AFC playoff picture. 30-14 Broncos. We're back after this message and a word from your local station.
What is it about Pope Francis that has captured the world's attention? Close friends will tell you. Only on 60 Minutes Presents tonight.
The 2.5 Men epic final season continues. CBS Thursday, 9/8 Central.
The getaway vehicle.
For all the confidence you need. TD Ameritrade. You got this.
The Fantasy Sports Hall of Fame presents former accountant Derek Bradley. DraftKings One Day Fantasy Football took him from a guy with holes in his underpants to a guy with bikini models in them.
How do they do it?
DraftKings.com. They have one-day games, so you're not locked in. It's like a new season every time you play. And best of all, you could win a shipload of money. Use promo code ELITE to play and get free entry in the $10 million Fantasy Football World Championships this Sunday. Get to DraftKings.com now.
1, 2, 3.
The all-new head-turning Cadillac ATS Coupe. It's irresistible.
You are watching NFL Sunday Ticket.
Along with our producer, Bob Monsbach, our director, Suzanne Smith, and our terrific CBS Sports crew here in Denver, Colorado. Greg Gumbel, Trent Green, Evan Washburn. Happy holidays, Happy New Year to all of you from all of us here at CBS. 3rd and 2. On the slant. Welker with running room. Welker to the 40. Welker at midfield and brought down at about the 45-yard line of the Oakland Raiders.
Welker just one-on-one. You can see man-to-man. You have everybody stack in here. Here's Welker in the slot. He's just going to come across and beat his man. This is recognizing, doing a double move. You know, everybody thinks about the rubs and the crosses that the offensive teams like to do, and that's what Denver does. Both receivers go towards each other, but then Welker does that escape route, goes to the inside with that double move, gets separation, gets an opening.
Manning throwing in this side. It's Sanders, and Sanders inside the 40 to the 38. This is becoming a real adventure because you throw back to New York and you never know what you're going to get. JB and Boomer.
49ers, Boomer. Colin Kaepernick, his second touchdown pass of the day. This one is to Bruce Miller, 3 yards. They take the lead 20-17 over the Cardinals.
Seattle could win the West with the win, but right now St. Louis got them all knotted at 6-all. Back to Greg Gumbel.
All right, guys, thank you. See, Cardinals can. Well, lots of things have to happen. Cardinals could end up on top. 2nd and 2. Hillman looks to be just a little bit shy of a first down. Let me reiterate for you, the Cardinals would clinch home field throughout the playoffs if they win and both Seattle and Green Bay lose. Meanwhile, he was not shy of a first down. He was marked just outside the 35-yard line, and that's enough for a first down. Manning throwing, it is incomplete. Number 88, Demaryius Thomas, double covered downfield.
Demaryius working up that right sideline, and DJ Hayden doesn't turn around, hits him either in the back of the shoulder pads or the back of the helmet. Woodson coming over to get in on the play.
You know what I want to say, don't you?
Turn around.
Turn around.
Turn around and make a play on it.
Look for the ball.
That is one of your points. You get frustrated by that every week. Defensive guys just need to turn around, locate.
Of course, my long days as a cornerback teach me that. 2nd and 10. This is Anderson. 25, 20, 15-yard line. First down, Broncos.
The right side of the offensive line, you have to give him credit. Once again, getting body on body, getting C.J. Anderson to that second level where he's able to make guys miss, get in the open field. Burris makes the tackle, but it's a good 20 yards, 15, 20 yards up the field.
C.J. has made himself a factor in this Denver offense. Peyton Manning looking for his first touchdown pass of this game. He's only had one game as a Bronco where he failed to throw a touchdown pass. That was 3 weeks ago against Buffalo. Not much for Anderson, going straight ahead.
Well, and getting back to C.J. Anderson, it was pretty impressive him coming into our production meeting. I didn't know much about him. Obviously, we've watched them a couple times. We've broadcast a couple of their games, but having him come in the meeting room brought a lot of energy into it and just really enthusiastic about his opportunities that he's getting this season, about being in the backfield with Peyton Manning. He said, listen, Peyton doesn't scream and yell at me because I make sure I know what I'm doing. He's like, he's not going to yell at you if you're doing what you're supposed to do. So he had a lot of compliments for Peyton Manning and just how much it's meant to him to have this opportunity here in Denver.
2nd and 8. Manning pulls it down, goes for the end zone, incomplete. Intended for Thomas, broken up by Brandon Ross.
Just a corner route. He initially has Ross beat going to the corner. Ball's just a little bit late. Contested, go up for it. There you are one more time, Greg. Defensive back.
You know, Trent,
back to the ball.
It made me remember C.J. Anderson when he was talking to us. He made his mark in the first game against the Oakland Raiders, and he was really proud of himself. And DeMarcus Ware said, good, now go do it again.
That's right. It's always the vets keep you in your place, right? That was a good game. Or not rookie, but second-year guy. That was a good game, young guy. Now go out and do it again. And he certainly has this last half of the season.
Play clock was winding down on Peyton. He takes a timeout with 11:19 to play in the 4th.
And the wolf was huffing and puffing.
Kind of like you sometimes, Grandpa.
Well, when you have COPD, it can be hard to breathe. It can be hard to get air out, which can make it hard to get air in. So I talked to my doctor. She said,
Symbicort could help you breathe better, starting within 5 minutes. Symbicort doesn't replace a rescue inhaler for sudden symptoms. Symbicort helps provide significant improvement of your lung function. Symbicort is for COPD, including chronic bronchitis and emphysema. It should not be taken more than twice a day. Symbicort contains formoterol. Medicines like formoterol increase the risk of death from asthma problems. Symbicort may increase your risk of lung infections, osteoporosis, and some eye problems. You should tell your doctor if you have a heart condition or high blood pressure before taking it.
Symbicort could mean a day with better breathing. Watch out, piggies.
Symbicort. Breathe better, starting within 5 minutes. Call or go online to learn more about a free prescription offer. If you can't afford your medication, AstraZeneca may be able to help.
This is where Peyton and Eli came out to play.
Can you come out to play?
Every kid's got to play. 60 minutes a day, every day. NFL plays 60.
You are watching the NFL on CBS.
New Denver franchise record for Demaryius Thomas, 1,619 receiving yards. Today, 8 catches for 115. 3rd and 8. Manning over the middle. Inside the 5, diving for a first down, but not quite getting there, is Emmanuel Sanders.
Peyton's up at the line of scrimmage, waiting for it.
And
Looks
they're
like that's
in a
what
hurry
they're
to do it, too. 4th and 1, the give is to Hillman. Hillman turns the corner. Where will they mark him out? Short of first down. Short of first down yardage.
Well, and I think Denver could ultimately challenge this because I know they're going to give a measurement. It'll be interesting to see where the ball is. Looks like his foot slides out of bounds, but where is the ball when his foot slides out of bounds? You can see the divot that comes up in the grass where his foot slides out right there. But look where the ball is passed. Wow. 3 yards.
Measurement.
The knee is down, the foot is out of bounds, but look where the ball is up here. So,
and it is the measurement shows them come up short. See coming from John Fox. And he will toss the challenge flag right now. And we're in one of those situations, Trent, where you said, why not?
Right.
Yeah, why not?
Well, and that, you know, Peyton being aggressive like all quarterbacks want to be.
Denver is challenging the ruling on the field, but the runner was short of the game.
You know, with the 6-point lead, he was just trying to be aggressive and get up on the line.
Blakeman will take a look.
Need a path away.
The U.S. government would like your technical advice.
A cyber attack targeted a nuclear reactor.
He'll take out a city and not think twice about it.
You get discovered, you're dead meat.
Isn't that why you brought me here?
This is only the beginning. Black Hat, rated R, in theaters January 16th.
How's it feel to be in the middle of a stadium full of screaming fans? It pumps me up. It's like it gets me going.
It feels a lot like this.
Get full, spacious sound that puts you in the middle of the action. From a compact system that connects right to your TV. The new Bose Cinemate 15.
Don't just listen to me. Listen for yourself.
Bose, game-changing sound.
At Cricket Wireless, we think you shouldn't have to worry about adding up all the taxes and fees to your monthly bill. That's why our plans start at just $35 after $5 auto pay credit. All in, taxes and fees included. Cricket, something to smile about.
Retirement solutions from New York Life can help you keep good going.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Universal Pictures Black Hat. In theaters January 16th. Bose, official sound of the NFL. And by Intuit QuickBooks, supporters of small businesses and all the ways they own it.
Cleat Blakeman is back with his decision.
After reviewing the play, the runner was down by contact with the ball positioned at the 3-yard line. Therefore, we will replace the ball at the 3 and then measure to determine if it's a first down or not.
So Mike Carey back in New York. Your thoughts on this?
Well, boy, I think this is a really tight one to move the ball. When you see the right knee down, the foot is out of bounds right about at the same time, but there's not a clear shot that shows you precisely where to spot the ball. But where they're going to put it is where they're going to put it, and we'll see what the measurement gives us.
Yeah, Mike, I didn't think that there was anything definitive for them to change their decision.
I agree, but we'll see what comes of this.
So, Mike, what you're saying is had this been your call, it wouldn't have been enough to actually move the placement of the ball.
That's correct. If I was in the booth, I would have not moved the ball.
Okay.
It is a first down.
And that changes the ruling on the field.
It absolutely does, because where they spotted it before did not give them a first down.
Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Mike.
You're welcome.
Tony Sperano less than pleased, as you would expect.
Well, because it still keeps it a 2-possession game. That's why it was so important to him. And the fact that he punted the ball in the last series, and now the Broncos have put together a 5.5-minute drive, makes him even more frustrated.
First and goal for Manning and the Broncos from the 3.
You got one-on-one with Demaryius down here at the bottom of the screen.
Manning lofting it the other way, incomplete.
I should have known better. He had one-on-one with McGill. He's been attacking McGill all day.
Oh, he heard you. Second and goal.
Manuel gives him a quick stick to the inside. And Even if he catches up to that ball, he's not going to get his feet in there.
McGill playing today because T.J. Carey is inactive, and he's a 4th-round draft pick out of Utah. He's a good size at 6'3", 211.
And they've gone after him all day. He's made some plays. Of course, they've gotten a few on him as well, but stepped up to the challenge today.
Manning looking for his first touchdown pass of the day. Quick pass. Incomplete. Tried the slant, and DJ Hayden was there to break it up, intended for Demaryius Thomas.
Watch Woodson coming off the edge there. You see 24 coming in, and Hayden jumping all over it. Knowing that is their adjustment to pressure. A lot of times down the goal line, Denver's known to go to those quick slants. Hayden taking that chance that it's not going to be the fade, and had a chance at interception there.
So what's your gut feeling? Does Peyton run it here, or does he throw it?
I think he's going to throw it. I think he continues to try and push the ball into the end zone through the air.
Ronnie Hillman in the backfield with Manning. 3rd and goal. Manning looks left, throwing for the corner of the end zone, incomplete. Demaryius Thomas, intended receiver, and now the field goal unit will come on for the Broncos.
Well, and this is the right decision. You kick the field goal, you make it a 3-possession game as opposed to just 2 8-point scores that Oakland potentially could put together. So go ahead and get the points on the board and separate yourself even more.
Connor Barth has been perfect on field goals, 3 out of 3. This one from 21 yards. His shortest attempt of the afternoon. And it is good. 10:18 to play, 4th quarter. Denver's lead is now 33-14.
The Lincoln MKZ, the first ever MKC, the new Navigator. The Lincoln Wish List event is on. It's the final days of the Wish List sales event. Get exceptional offers on the 2015 Lincoln MKZ or MKZ Hybrid.
The good more is all the end-of-season deals on great tech stuff at Verizon. The not-so-good more? Having the season actually end. Now get the powerful Droid Max by Motorola, free.
Quitters! You're all quitters.
And get a $150 credit when you switch to Verizon.
Perfect.
I don't know.
Beautiful.
I feel like it makes me look pregnant. Honey?
Spectacular.
You didn't even look.
Of course I did.
What are you watching? Oh, I love this scene. How late are we?
It ended 2 hours ago.
With the best screen of any tablet, the Samsung Galaxy Tab S is the world's most entertaining device. Get $50 off the 10.5 and 8.4-inch Samsung Galaxy Tab S at your local Best Buy today.
The Lincoln MKZ, the first ever MKC, the new Navigator. The Lincoln Wish List event is on. It's the final days of the Wish List sales event. Right now, lease the 2015 Lincoln MKC for $349 a month.
These geniuses may not fit into the world.
What's that? Something not normal.
But they're the only ones
Chasing bad guys isn't our thing. Well, it is now.
who can save it.
I want to be you. Good luck. Love doesn't exist. It's okay to admit you don't have all the answers.
Every problem has a solution. The new hit drama Scorpion, Monday, 9/8 Central.
Right in the middle of that picture with the hood over his head is Aqib Talib. Oh, excuse me, right there in front is Aqib Talib, sitting next to TJ Ward. Talib does not appear to be going back into the game anytime soon. It's not injury related, but this game looking pretty good on Denver's side of the ball right now at 33-14. Atkinson inside the 5. And across the 20 and stood up at about the 24-yard line. What's been happening around the National Football League today, you ask? How about the Dallas Cowboys, who just continue to impress week after week? Seattle and Arizona lose. The Dallas Cowboys are right up there at the top of the NFC. San Diego Chiefs, minus their quarterback Alex Smith, knocked off an injury-riddled San Diego Chargers team, and the Baltimore Ravens had to rally late to beat the Cleveland Browns, and the Ravens secure that last wild card in the AFC. Bradley Roby on the field. That's Latavius Murray, and Murray goes nowhere. That's Bradley Roby, who is now playing in place of Aqib Talib.
Well, you go back to the last series, and the Raiders decided to punt as opposed to trying a long field goal or going for it on 4th down. Now with 3 possessions, you have to start pushing the ball up the field. You have to start taking some chances. Derek Carr's done a nice job of managing, not getting turnovers or interceptions the last few weeks, but now you have to start taking those chances.
Murray. And Murray out to about the 35-yard line, and we have a marker down in the backfield.
Holding. Offense, number 61. 10-yard penalty. Still second down.
Wisniewski, the center, guilty of the hold. There'll be a couple of things talked about on the Raiders side of things after this game. Number one will be the placement of that ball down at the 3-yard line, and another will be why Tony Sperano elected to kick the ball away to Peyton Manning in a game where really they're out of the money on everything.
Yeah, from a Raiders standpoint, you got to be a little bit more, I guess, take some more chances, especially with a 2-possession game, and you have a big enough leg with Janikowski if you wanted to try it. Still, I think going for it on 4th down would have been the call to make, and ultimately the Broncos turn around, put together a 6-minute drive, putting the Raiders in this hole right now.
Carr to the sideline, and that is Reese, and Reese will be marked down at the 19-yard line. So it will still be 3rd and long, 14 for a Denver 1st down.
Well, they're trying to go a little bit of
Oakland.
Yeah, and Oakland's trying to go to a little bit of a hurry up here, and you can see getting to the line of scrimmage right away. But even with 8.5 to go, you have to start thinking we have to go for this on 4th down if you want any chance.
Carr flips it out of the backfield, and going nowhere is Darren McFadden. He's wrapped up by Omar Bolden.
But when you hit your check down for a 1-yard loss, you have to punt it. I mean, I understand the decisions that Derek Carr is making. I completely understand it. We had those conversations with him last night. He feels much more comfortable with his progressions. He feels much more comfortable in the pocket. He knows what's going on as opposed to earlier in the season when we had him. And he was saying, you know, you get a little, your tempo gets quickened up. And now as he's, you know, starting his 16th game as an NFL quarterback, he does feel more comfortable. But in this situation, you do have to take more chances.
King drives Welker back inside his own 30-yard line. Coming all the way across the field, puts on the brakes and goes down inside the 20-yard line. Andre Holmes making the special teams tackle with 7:39 to play in the 4th.
Suffering from the flu is a really big deal. With aches, fever, and chills, there's no such thing as a little flu. So why treat it like it's a little cold? There's something that works differently than over-the-counter remedies. Attack the flu virus at its source with prescription Tamiflu and call your doctor right away. Tamiflu is FDA approved to treat the flu in people 2 weeks and older whose flu symptoms started within the last 2 days. Before taking Tamiflu, tell your doctor if you're pregnant, nursing, have serious health conditions, or take other medicines. If you develop an allergic reaction, a severe rash, or signs of unusual behavior, stop taking Tamiflu and call your doctor immediately. Children and adolescents in particular may be at an increased risk of seizures, confusion, or abnormal behavior. The most common side effects are mild to moderate nausea and vomiting. Ask your doctor about Tamiflu and attack the flu virus at its source.
With T-Mobile and iPhone 6, you can make Wi-Fi calls beyond the reach of cellular networks.
Hey, Brandon, what's up?
So you can talk from down here.
Smile for Grandma.
Or text pictures from up here.
Okay, there we go. Should we send a photo?
You can even make calls way over here. Talk and text over Wi-Fi with Wi-Fi calling on iPhone 6. Only from T-Mobile. Now get iPhone 6 for $0 down.
Catch Two Broke Girls Monday at 8, 7 Central. Only CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by T-Mobile. And by Subway Restaurants. Get your own Big Hot Pastrami Melt at Subway.
Denver, Colorado at nightfall. Good thing there aren't any speed traps. So from the 19-yard line, here is Ronnie Hillman. And Hillman tripped up, falls. And Trent, you were wondering why number 18 is still in the lineup.
Well, I said that when we came back from break. I thought Brock Osweiler would go in, and there he is right there on the sideline, has his hat on, has the jacket on, isn't warming up, doesn't have his helmet. Manning ran back on the field, and you consider what has happened with Aaron Rodgers in Green Bay, having that strained calf, and it just takes one little move here or there. Obviously you don't want anything to happen, but with your franchise quarterback in a 3-possession lead, well, I'd get some snaps for Brock.
Brock has been fooled before. Last time we saw these two teams play, he thought he was going to get a little playing time sooner than he did. Manning to throw. Wide open. 30-yard line and across the 30 is Cody Latimer. And that'll be a first down. When we saw these two teams play out in Oakland, there's Brock. He thought he was headed in.
Oh, look at the smile. He had a smile on his face. Oh,
dude.
We do have to say, though, it only was one play, and then he went in after that one play. But he thought he was going in, and you could see having a little fun with him at his expense on the sideline.
Manning letting the play clock wind down and then gives it to Anderson. Anderson, a 3-touchdown afternoon, looking for more. Bulls his way across the 35 to the 37-yard line. Once again to our New York studios, JB and
Aaron Rodgers can do it all. That's right. The legend continues to grow in Green Bay. He comes back in the second half, completes 10 of 12 passes, throws a touchdown pass, scores a rushing touchdown right there. They take the lead on the Detroit Lions off of a Joik Bell fumble, 28-14.
Just like Greg Gumbel, who can do it all. Back to Greg.
Including Ake with the best of them. Thank you, JB. Meanwhile, injured player down on the field for the Oakland Raiders. That looks like it might be Brandon Ross. It is. It's tough to get hurt in a football game any time, Trent, but on the last game of the season when you're really going nowhere.
Well, and that is tough. You want to go into the offseason as healthy as possible. You can see his right leg gets bent underneath as that pile's coming forward. Hopefully it's nothing serious. It's good to see him walking off on his own power.
Dowling replaces him at safety, 2nd and 4. We are at the 5:40 mark to play. Short drop on the slant, incomplete. 5:34 to play. Did anybody really doubt that Peyton would come bouncing back after that game at Cincinnati? This is what happens with him after a loss since 2012.
Yeah, since he joined the Broncos, 8-1 after a loss, nearly 360 yards. You see that 3-to-1 touchdown to interception ratio. He was very focused and determined this week. We talked to C.J. Anderson, and he said that all week long it was that way, and even more so than he normally is, just because following up a game like he had last week on Monday night, he wanted to come out and play well today.
On 3rd and 4, he's going to go deep down the sideline, and is caught by Demaryius Thomas. He is ruled out of bounds.
I don't think he got that second foot down. He gets the first one. He isn't able to drag the second one. Let's see here. He gets the one. Tough from that angle, but the officials were both on top of it. Here's a better look.
Yep, left one was out. Of course, you know what I noticed on that play is Keith McGill turned and looked for the football. Charles Woodson is deep. 17 seasons in the NFL, says he'd be open to coming back to these Raiders next year. Woodson from the 6, splits 2 defenders, right up the middle of the field, and just short of the 30-yard line. And we have a couple of late flags thrown at the end of the play. That injured Bronco is David Bruton.
the return. Illegal block in the back. Return team number 96. It's a 10-yard penalty from the end of the run. First down, Oakland.
Danico Autry, a defensive lineman, guilty of the flag that will back the Raiders up even more with 5:15 to play here in the fourth. Wow, there's the block right there in the middle of your screen. And when you see players taking a knee, it feels a little more serious than we might first have thought.
Well, and anytime you see the doctors or trainers stabilize the helmet like that, there has to be some concern. The good thing is we're seeing him move his arms and legs. Right here, this is who makes the block, and you're going to see right here where the block happens in the back on Bruton.
I was looking for a head snap there, but I didn't see it. That doesn't mean it didn't happen.
Right.
But Bruton now being helped to his feet.
That's always a good sign when you see him sit up. It looks like they laid him back down, however, but the fact that they were willing to sit him up and move him.
The injury to T.J. Ward moved David Bruton into the starting lineup this afternoon.
Now it appears they may call a card out.
Yeah, John Fox is out there. These Broncos 5 minutes, 15 seconds away from securing a first-round bye as Brock Osweiler warms up on the Denver sideline. And David Bruton Jr. is going to get carried off the field. 6th season out of Notre Dame. And in fact, he will be driven off.
Well, you never want this to happen to any player, but especially the fact that we saw him sit up and now they've put him back down to put him on the board. The Broncos continue on to get this win and have the bye week. From a big picture standpoint, that gives him an opportunity to be evaluated and
rested.
Ultimately get back on the field if that's the condition he can be in. But we talked about coming into this game with the injuries the defense already had with Brandon Marshall and T.J. Ward, 2 of their normal starters not playing, and how valuable the bye week would be for them to try and get healthy, especially on that side of the football.
And when we asked John Fox about, have you talked to your team about that, he goes, oh, I don't have to tell them about that. They know.
When you got a lot of veterans blended on your roster, that tends to take care of themselves. And John Fox is the type of coach where he likes his veterans to be the leaders of the team. He doesn't want to have to go in there and tell them everything to do and list out a laundry list of fines and schedules and everything else. You know what? You guys police yourselves. You guys take care of each other. You teach each other how you want to prepare and how you want to play. And that's what the Broncos have been so good with these last couple of seasons.
The veteran Charles Woodson.
I can't say enough good things about Charles Woods. I played against him for years and years, and the fact that he just continues to play at such a high level, long time as a corner, and now many years as a safety. The fact it's his 17th season, he's returning punts because of the number of injuries that the Raiders have had. Here he is back there fielding punts and put together a heck of a return on this last return, and the effort that he's shown all over the field. They blitz him off the edges when they want to put extra pressure on the quarterback. Coverage down the field. still playing at an extremely high level. And as we talked to him last night, he's mentioned the fact, I feel good right now, and I'll have to do some evaluating and figure out if I want to come back for another one. If I don't, I've been blessed and happy to play as long as he has.
And played well. Hall of Fame career. Meanwhile, the medical staff taking every precaution with David Bruton Jr. before they lift him and load him onto the truck to drive him off for further medical evaluation.
Well, it's important to remind people, Greg, if they're just joining us, he was moving his arms and legs. He did actually sit up for a while before going back down. So those are some positive signs, even though that, that he's going to have to leave the field in this manner.
Getting some applause from some of the Oakland Raiders as well. It was a tough blindside hit that he took. And David Bruton gets a hand from the crowd.
Unfortunately, I've had to leave the field a couple times in that manner, and that's a scary thing as a player, because normally you have some kind of control of what's going on, and there you've got, your head is strapped down, you've got your helmet on, and no face mask, and the fact he gave a wave to the crowd as he was leaving the field is a great sign, not only for he and his family, but for the fans here in Denver that are supporting this team.
So the penalty sets the Raiders back to their own 19-yard line. And Carr over the middle, tipped, and it falls incomplete. Todd Davis, the rookie linebacker out of Sacramento State, got his hands on the ball. It'll be 2nd and 10.
And see, I don't have a problem with that. I understand in this situation you have to press the ball up the field, and yeah, that ball could have easily been intercepted, but you've got to try squeezing into some tight windows your throws when you're trying to come back from a 3-possession deficit.
On 2nd and 10, Carr throwing, and it is incomplete. And James Jones hit hard by Kayvon Webster.
Well, Kayvon Webster's on the outside. It's a cover 2 with help over the top, and Webster's on the outside working with the outside receiver, and he peels off seeing the out route by Jones and is able to make the hit as the ball is just getting there.
James Jones, the veteran wide receiver on this roster in his 8th year. Let's get away from the slow motion and see this as it happened in regular speed. So Jones going to get to his feet and walk off the field. Meanwhile, the ranks are getting mighty thin for wide receiver for the Oakland Raiders.
Yeah, and they were thin coming into this game, so that even thins it out a little bit more. But it's important to remember, with all the technology and TV and the sound effects and slow motion and everything else, this game is played at a high level of speed by strong, fast athletes, and there's collisions like that are going to take place.
The Carolina Panthers have claimed the NFC South and its playoff slot. Congratulations to Coach Ron Rivera and the Panthers. The word from the Broncos is that David Bruton suffered a concussion, and he will not be returning here today. 3rd and 10. Carr throwing, and that's complete to the 30-yard line. Tight end Michael Rivera, and that's a 1st down. Let's go down to Evan.
Greg, just to add with the Bruton concussion, I walked with him as he was being carted off the field. They put him immediately in an ambulance for an off-site further evaluation.
All right, Evan, thank you. Carr running out of time. Loose football picked up by the Broncos to the end zone for the touchdown is Tony Carter.
Because this was a score, I'm sure up in the booth they're taking a look to see if this was a fumble or if his arm was moving forward. Derek Carr sliding up in the pocket and stepping forward. McCray is the one that hits him. From the angles we've been able to see, it appears that his arm is coming backward. Keep an eye on that right arm. He's going backward.
Definitely not forward. You know that clock we always hear about in a quarterback's head? Wasn't working in Derek's head.
That mental clock has to go off at some point in time, especially when you know a defense has got their pinned back, knowing you're going to be in a throwing situation and trying to get after the quarterback. You need to get it out of your hands. I understand why he's trying to push it up the field, but there also has to be a clock in there.
It's been confirmed as a fumble and a touchdown, and the extra point is good. And with 4:48 to play in the fourth, the Broncos lead it by 40-14. Mike Carey in New York. Not much doubt about that one, was there?
Greg, yeah, that's an obvious one. I saw Lindsey Vaughn standing on the sideline. I think even she could have got it as a skier.
Glad to know you're focused on the game, Mike. Appreciate that.
Mike's all over what's going on here in Denver. That's good.
You got to see everything, right?
Thank you, Mike. Derek Carr didn't really even get a chance to fully cock his arm before he was hit and lost the ball.
And right before we went to Mike Carey, you could see him talking on the sideline with Greg Olsen, the offensive coordinator for the Raiders, and just explaining why it was he was holding on to the ball as long as he was. And Olsen wanted to know the explanation as far as his progression and what the thought was going into that play.
It's been a long rookie year for that young man, but by and large, he's performed well.
He has, and you have to think of the number of injuries that have happened around him, the things that have taken place, changing head coaches. They didn't change offensive coordinators. That was one of the things we talked to him about earlier in the season when we had the Raiders, and you know, just the progress that he's made, how the game has started to slow down a little bit for him, which as a quarterback, that's an important thing. When you can get things to slow down, you see coverages better, you see blitzes and schemes better, and he feels moving forward, he's in a better place having played the 16 games this year.
Atkinson will bring it out. And Atkinson just across the 10 to about the 11-yard line. Loose ball. The Broncos say they have recovered, but the officials say the ball is down. And so the Raiders will start from their own 11-yard line. Here's Atkinson. You can't see it there. So Carr and the offense from their 11 with 4:43 to play. And by the way, that fumble recovery just tears Brock Osweiler's heart out, doesn't it? Because he stays on the sideline as the Raiders get another crack on offense. Off the fingertips of Rivera, incomplete. It'll be 2nd and 10. Tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes Presents Inside the Vatican. That's followed by new episodes of Undercover Boss, The Mentalist, and CSI. Only CBS.
The Broncos have both of their starting corners out. Both are going to the Pro Bowl as well. Harris and Talib.
Carr over the middle, and that one's on the money across the 20 out to about ruled incomplete. Ball came loose, and it is ruled an incomplete pass.
Tompkins coming from the right side of your screen on a dig route. Ball coming loose before he hits the ground. He's slow to get up as well. That's not a position they can afford to lose anybody else.
Butler left the game earlier. Demaryius Moore did not dress. with a knee and ankle injury. Vincent Brown did not dress with a groin injury. 3rd and 10. And Carr running out of time. Needs the snap in a hurry. Got it. Stepping up, throwing. It is incomplete. Batted down on the far side by Webster. And Marquette King will come onto the field to punt it away. Wes Welker back inside his own 45-yard line. Made mention of this to you yesterday, Trent. Marquette King came into this game having punted the ball 100 times this season.
That's an unbelievable stat when you told me that.
Fair catch called for and made by Welker on the Oakland side of the field. 4:20 to play, and Brock Osweiler is on to the field at quarterback for the Denver Broncos. 6'8", 240 pounds in his 3rd year out of Arizona State.
Well, and he has a strong arm, Greg. I'm just not so sure we're going to see it here tonight.
Come on, Coach, let me air one out. Let me air one out.
Believe me, as a young guy, you want some reps, you want some snaps, you do.
But not now.
Not now.
Jeremy Stewart in the backfield gets the handoff and gets buried at about the 48-yard line. So the AFC playoff picture with Denver getting the win, that means New England and Denver get home field advantage in the first round bye. Cincinnati and Pittsburgh will fight it out tonight for the championship in the AFC North, and Baltimore has moved into that final wild card spot with a win. Timeout on the field with 4:11 to play, and gives us an opportunity to remind you, those of you expecting to see 60 minutes, you're watching the NFL on CBS in our game between the Raiders and the Denver Broncos, along with Trent Green and Evan Washburn. I'm Greg Gumbel. Denver 40-14 over the Oakland Raiders. 60 minutes will be seen in its entirety immediately following this game, except on the West Coast, where it'll be seen at its regularly scheduled time. Stewart lost 4 on that first carry. He'll try it this way. And will be pushed out of bounds, and we'll get another update from the guys in New York, JB and Boomer.
All right, Boomer, the significance here.
Well, how about this, guys? Look at this, a Gatorade bath for Jim Harbaugh. Is this his last game as the head coach of the San Francisco 49ers? Looks like his players actually like and respect him. They go on to win and beat the Arizona Cardinals 20-17. The question is, where will we see Jim Harbaugh next year? Will he be in the maize and blue of the University of Michigan?
All right, Greg Gumbel.
If it isn't Jim Harbaugh's last game in San Francisco, there sure has been a heck of a lot of talk about it.
Well, and the fact that Michigan hasn't named a head coach, and that change was made weeks ago, and all the speculation swirling around it, you know, this started way back before the season even started, when they started talking about contract extensions for Jim Harbaugh and what was going to happen in San Francisco, and the fact that nothing was going on, it just made you a little concerned as to what direction they were going to go and what direction Jim Harbaugh was going to go.
See if Osweiler throws one here on 3rd and 10. Throwing down the middle of the field and wide open, inside the 20, inside the 10 to about the 6 is Virgil Green, the tight end.
Osweiler's pretty pumped up here. He's going to give a play fake. Virgil Green's working up that right seam. We saw Osweiler running down the field, kind of clapping his hands. Glad that Virgil Green was able to pull that in, but probably a little mad at himself for not making that a little more accurate, so that Green could run right into the end zone.
Dive for that goal line.
That's right.
Taylor. Coming up on 3:15 to play in the 4th. And Osweiler calls timeout before the play clock runs down. So how interesting a day has it been for Peyton Manning. Everybody looking for him to rebound from that Monday night debacle at the hands of the Cincinnati Bengals. No touchdowns, no interceptions, 21 of 37 for 273.
Not his best day, but definitely a very productive day. And getting ready to head into the postseason, you can see his numbers over his career.
And 2-2 in the postseason with Denver.
You know, it's hard to argue with the numbers that he's put up in his career. What a tremendous career he's had, and he indicated to us in meetings he's not looking to stop. So he's anticipating everything coming back next year.
Stewart twisting his way to the 2, maybe to the 1. He'll be marked down at the 1. It'll be second and goal.
And we even worded it in a manner, is there anything that could happen in the postseason that would make you change your mind? And he's like, well, I'm not speculating on anything that may, quote unquote, happen. But
yeah, we were doing all the speculating.
We were doing all the speculating. He wasn't biting. He said, you know, my thought process and the way I'm thinking right now is to finish this season as strong as possible, play as well as I can, getting ready for the Raiders. But everything about going into next year is he plans on playing. That's his thought process.
Talking to his offensive coordinator, Adam Gase, there. Stewart in the backfield. Stewart gets the handoff and comes down short of the goal line. And it looks like this will take us to the 2-minute warning. The Denver Broncos 2 minutes away from sewing up the weekend off. Two minutes to play here in Denver, 40-14. This is the NFL on CBS. Happy New Year, everyone.
It's lunch, it's dinner, it's big, hot pastrami.
Boom, pow! I love the sound of that.
Nothing tackles a mighty appetite like the Subway Big Hot Pastrami Melt.
I'm all over it. Oh, yeah.
This monument of flavor is loaded with dry rubbed, pepper-crusted beef, melty cheese, mustard and pickles on freshly baked bread.
Need I say more?
The Subway Big Hot Pastrami Melt. Subway, eat fresh.
Dad, I know I haven't said this often enough, but thank you.
Thank you, Mom, for protecting my future.
Thank you for being my hero and my dad.
Military families are uniquely thankful for many things. The legacy of USAA Auto Insurance could be one of them. If you're a current or former military member or their family, get an auto insurance quote and see why 92% of our members plan to stay for life.
Introducing Amazon Fire TV Stick, the simplest way to stream all the entertainment you love on your big screen. Pop it in, grab the remote, and explore 200,000 movies and TV episodes from Netflix, Amazon Instant Video, Hulu Plus, and more. And Amazon Prime members can access thousands of titles at no extra cost. Introducing Amazon Fire TV Stick, the newest member of the Amazon.
Those of you on the West Coast will be seeing it at its regularly scheduled time. Third and goal. Jeremy Stewart in the backfield with Brock Osweiler. Osweiler rolling, throwing, touchdown. Virgil Green, his first touchdown catch of the year. Osweiler's first touchdown pass of the year.
Osweiler with the rollout to the right. Virgil Green just on the inside working the flat route.
Brock is happy.
You can see the excitement he has, and watch Peyton Manning's reaction.
Peyton's happy. Osweiler's first career touchdown pass.
Had a big hug there for Adam Gase on the sideline. Thanks, OC, for calling my number.
And the extra point is good. So a minute 56 to play, and Denver just piling it on now at 47-14. A reminder, tonight on CBS begins with 60 Minutes presents Inside the Vatican. And that's followed by new episodes of Undercover Boss, The Mentalist, and CSI Only CBS. So let's take a look at a playoff picture now in the NFC, Trent. The Green Bay Packers are leading by 10 with under a minute and a half to play. So we're going to presume they're going to win that game. They will clinch the number 2 seed. Seattle has beaten St. Louis, and they're the highest seed overall in the NFC.
Well, and then you look at Arizona and Carolina in that 4-5 game, and you're dealing with an Arizona team that's dealing with a bunch of injuries, especially at the quarterback position. And Carolina has gotten hot lately. They came up with a huge win in Atlanta, 34-3. And then how about that Detroit and Dallas matchup? That could be a very high-scoring game with those two offenses.
Detroit, peaks and valleys, right?
Yeah, you've scratched your head a few times on that one this season, but their defense has played much better this year. Virgil Green's not letting that football go.
You know, is there a duel to be held between Osweiler and Virgil Green for that pass, for that football? It's a first for both of them.
That's exactly right. Green's not taking any chances, though. He's just going to hang on to it, not give him the option of stealing it from him.
This was knocked down at midfield by Kenbrell Tompkins, and Tompkins returns close to the 25-yard line. Let's go to the AFC. Denver with a win here today, and they're in the number 2 slot. New England, home field throughout. And then Pittsburgh, Cincinnati playing for either the number 3 slot. The winner gets number 3, the loser in the number 5.
Well, and I look at that matchup of the Pitt-Cincinnati winner going against Baltimore, the 3 against 6. The fact that those two teams, whoever it ends up being, are all in that AFC North. So it's going to be a battle no matter which one it is, Pittsburgh or Cincinnati.
Carr on the quick slant across the 30-yard line, complete to Andre Holmes. And the clock continues to move up on a minute and a half to play.
When we talked about the potential shootout with Detroit and Dallas, how about the potential shootout with Indianapolis and whoever they play, Pittsburgh or Cincinnati? That could be a high-scoring game as well.
As you see there, the Broncos about to put the wraps on a perfect season, perfect 8-0 season here at home.
And a much-needed bye for them as they're dealing with some injuries, especially on the defensive side of the ball. Offensively, they've stayed pretty healthy for most of the season, but defensively, they could use to get a few fresh bodies back.
Over the middle, incomplete. Marcel Reese couldn't hold on. Mr. Green, I want to tell you what a pleasure it was working with you and Evan Washburn this season. We've had a lot of fun.
Well, yeah, thank you for your patience. You got a couple of newbies here in me and Evan, so thank you for all you've done, and it's been a great season. Been great to work with.
Well, I thought every week it was interesting to see who Evan was going to upset on the sideline at the end of every game. Green Bay has beaten the Detroit Lions. So that NFC playoff picture stands as we showed it to you. That pass to the near side incomplete. Going up for it was Michael Rivera. So it'll be 3rd and 10 with 47 seconds to play.
And an interesting piece of trivia for our crew, Greg, is the fact that we had 17 games and we were in a different stadium all 17 weeks.
Very strange. Keep the travel people busy. So the NFC playoffs are official now. Seattle at number 1, Green Bay at number 2. They'll have the upcoming weekend off. Derek Carr with time, but nobody to throw it to. And he's going to just scoot out of bounds just across the 45-yard line. So 39 seconds remaining. And on 4th down, they are just going to play this one out as you get a close look at Charles Woodson. A reminder, 60 minutes coming your way up next, except on the West Coast. Fourth and 5. Carr, a little pump fake, holding on to it, running out of time, throwing far side of the field, and intercepted. Josh Bush, the 3rd-year defensive back out of Wake Forest, and that'll put the cap on Derek Carr's rookie season.
Well, we've talked here a little bit recently about what's in place for the Broncos. Moving forward, they have a bye week. They're going to get some guys back healthy, but the Raiders, what's going to happen this offseason, whether it be a coaching change, player changes, there definitely will be some things going on in the Bay Area for potentially both San Francisco and Oakland.
How do you see this Oakland franchise, if you're a coach considering moving in, do you see a lot of promise in it, a lot of young talent?
There is a lot of young talent. You look at the success they've had with the draft they had this year, the 2014 draft, and moving forward, you have some good pieces in place, especially at quarterback with Derek Carr.
Final seconds will tick away on the regular season for both the Broncos and the Oakland Raiders. The Broncos move on, and the Raiders will go home. John Fox and Tony Sperano exchange a handshake at midfield, and Peyton Manning saying his goodbyes as he gets set for the postseason. Once again, our final score, the Denver Broncos 47, the Oakland Raiders 14. Tonight on CBS, 60 Minutes presents Inside the Vatican, followed by Undercover Boss, The Mentalist, and CSI. So, for Trent Green and Evan Washburn and our superb crew here in Denver, Greg Gumbel saying so long from Sports Authority Field at Mile High. You've been watching the NFL on CBS.
Dad, I know I haven't said this often enough, but thank you.
Thank you, Mom.